Good morning. Good morning, Ray Ray. What you doing, Sugar Britches?
Getting creative.
Getting creative.
We need to go to the store.
We really do. So she's getting creative.
I am.
So what are you trying to make?
I think we're gonna make some omelets.
Ooh, I love a good omelet. So what do you do when you got a bunch of random things that you need to make breakfast with?
And we have a lot of eggs.
You throw it in an egg and call it an omelet.
That's right. So we always have peppers, and I had 1 onion left. So right now we're going to saute some onions and peppers.
And if anything, it'll make the house smell good.
That's right. Maybe we'll just eat that. Who knows?
All right, makeshift breakfast coming your way. On another note, we had our first whole chicken that we raised here last night for dinner.
It was so good.
Super fantastic. So we didn't get too fancy with this one. We wanted to really just taste the meat. But we put it in our Dutch oven, our red big Dutch oven. Stuffed it with a lemon, some butter, some thyme, and then just threw a little bit of the seasoning that we have laying around here on top, and it was good stuff.
Yeah, in the middle of making it, I found a really good recipe by our friend Natalie from Hey It's a Good Life.
Yeah.
And next time we're going to do that one because it looked amazing. I was a little too far in by the time I found it, so we'll use that one next time.
For sure. And then in the summer, I can't wait to stick it on a smoker with a beer can up inside of it. Beer can chicken, if you're unfamiliar with that, because that makes fantastic chicken.
It does.
And she's looking at this air fryer, so we got an air fryer.
Yeah, it's the rotisserie one.
Yeah, we've got an air fryer, but it doesn't hold a whole chicken. So that would be pretty cool for rainy days, and you just want that, because we really like that crispy skin, and so that air fryer might be able to do it. So I guess that's going to be in our purchase this weekend. Get the sauteing, woman.
Yeah.
Look at that. Barely even put a dent in it. Tell us our ladies ain't getting enough grit up in this place. Them shells.
Healthy shells.
Yes, they are. And those are not guinea eggs. Those are straight chicken eggs. And she's pounding them like it's a hard-boiled egg to get them cracked open. Good morning, Wyatt.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, if you do have really soft shells, if you're completely unfamiliar with that, we just call it grit. It's mainly grit that they're needing more of. So give them some more like scratch grains. Throw it on the ground, let them do some scratching, and that gives them that grit they need to have that good thick shell layer. So if this mic is worth anything of what we paid for it, you won't be able to hear it, but it's going to be an insanely windy day today. We're going to have like 60-mile-per-hour winds. There's tornadoes in the area, which I know a lot of you all are facing this, but we'll be praying for y'all with all the storms that are rolling in. I know it's hard here with animals. Got to make sure all your coops are good. Like my hoop house done flew open. Got to make sure all your Premier One fencing standing. The wind, if you have gates, watch them. That wind will pop that gate right off. So just keep an eye out, protect your animals, protect your homestead. We'll be praying for all of y'all. Man, these peppers, I know y'all smelled that before, but it just smells of a house. It makes me want to have a brat. Like I want to go to Fanny Farkles and Gallenberg and eat some brats and peppers and onions for breakfast. Hey, Princess. Princess. You know eat treats, you don't get omelet. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why you know eat treats? You think you're human? You eat human food? Is that what you do? You just wag your tail all day, but that doesn't give you more food.
Look at our little healthy eater. What are you having for breakfast?
What is it called again?
Your bone broth soup?
Oh yeah, my
You
favorite.
love it. You woke up and asked for it. Is it good? You haven't tried it yet. It's hot in it.
Yeah, it's steaming.
Rusty wants some.
It's close to breakfast in bed, huh?
Ow.
So, how do y'all like your all's omelets? I like a little taco sauce and some sour cream.
He's so weird.
She's a maple syrup fan on top of hers. I like a little spicy. She likes a little sweet. How you like yours? Oh, and by the way, that thing did not look pretty whatsoever. We tried to just make one big omelet, and then her and I just cut it in half and split it. It don't fold as easy when it's real big, so maybe cut her down to about 3 eggs. But I am full. Now it's time to get this day going. We got the windows open. It's literally like 70 degrees right now, and this storm is a rolling in. Okay, the storm has passed. It's time to check in on the damage that was done, because there was a little. Could have been much worse. There's a lot of families that went through a lot worse than we did. Ours is minor things that we can fix, and it's also given me a reason to enhance. So let's check out and see what all happened. First things first, rabbit hutch. Tarp blew off. The males escaped out of their cage, which was kind of freaky because around 2 a.m. We noticed that they were outside. We just happened to be up at that time, and it was crazy, and we caught them. But we moved them into the old chicken tractor, which stayed sturdy, because we had separated the rabbits. We had put the females over here and the males over here, because it was time to switch them anyways before we have any breeding going on anymore. So thankfully we already had that one set up and we was able to put them in. So today I'm doing two things. One, repairing back to fix, but I'm also going to be finishing up and putting wire over the top here to help with any water hold, and then I'm going to put wire on the bottom. I know a lot of y'all had suggested that, but we hadn't had any issues with them digging holes out. We didn't really mind them digging their own little colonies. We know they like that, so we didn't want to take it away from them, but now we have the need to, unfortunately, take it away from them. So get that project to do. And then my poor little hoop house over here, I'll tell you what, it got blown off the hinges. So I got to get it back on its hinges so it can stay on there. Thankfully, none of the plants were harmed, so that's good. The one over here, I actually tied down, so it stayed put, but it did break the middle piece. Well, it didn't break it. The PVC came undone, but it still kind of held its own. So I'll show you here. Yeah, no, that completely broke it. So right there, these two were connected, and that snapped that in half. And that's probably because I had it tied down. It wanted to fly open, and there was so much tension right here that broke that from the wind. But that's okay. It's still functional and still works. I can repair that at any point, but as long as it stays on, that's the main part. I think the number one question I get asked about our greenhouse here is, how does it stand within storms? Absolutely fantastic. That thing handled the 60 to 100 mile per hour winds we got. It was gust. It wasn't a consistent. Consistently, we were about 30 to 40, I think they said. But we got wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour, and not a single thing bothered it. That was like my biggest concern, and it was perfectly fine. So that's really good to see. And then the last thing was the animals. So this was kind of iffy and scary for a minute. Yeah, as you all know, we have the Premier One electrical fencing that's set up on all of our animals. It does good, and it did great. Besides the gate, I didn't even think about the gate. So the gate is just on like that. Sorry, I got you out of the screen. It just pops on and off just like that. And so when you get a lot of wind, it can pop that up. And me and Jen looked outside just to kind of check on things. Both gates were down. But I love our animals so much. They stayed in their coops and didn't have us chasing 100+ chickens and goats roaming around here. So if you ever have a storm and you're using the gate here, all I did was I used this rope here and I tied it to the actual door so we couldn't even get it up. So that seemed to solve that problem. And then I just undid it once the winds finally calmed down. But that is the extent of our damage that we had. I'm so sorry if some of you all had some more. I know it was really crazy pretty much all the way across the country. But now, let's fix some things.
You can change the pace, you can run and hide, but that don't change the folks outside. The world just has a bite, it's pretty stout. Righteousness won't fill your cup, you do dues you don't just won't add up. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Show 'em just what you're made of, and all your dreams will stand right up. It's all right there, just ready for the taking. You can snap those chains and be on your way. Guns blazing, guns blazing.
Okay, I have fixed the bottom, so it is completely got the hardware. Is it hardware? Hardware wire, fabric, whatever. It's not chicken wire, it's a smaller hose. So I've got that all on the bottom. I like this wire a lot better. It's a lot more sturdy than chicken wire. But I had like makeshift amounts. I didn't have full ones just because we use it so much. So it would have been nice if it was just one solid sheet. But I had to use a couple and piece it together. So I got one long strand down this side. And then over here, I kind of had to piece it together. But what I did was I just had zip ties to hold the pieces together so they still couldn't get under it. But that's gonna solve our digging problem. Now I gotta flip this thing back over, fix the top, get the tarp back on, and the rabbit hutch will be good.
Stand right up, it's all right there, it's ready for the taking. You can snap those chains and be on your way.
Meanwhile, these guys are just absolutely loving that pine tree or cedar tree, whatever it is. What y'all think, boys? Y'all like that tree? Y'all eating it up, ain't you? Yeah.
Take your time, it's all you've got. If you tried, it's not your fault. Righteousness won't fill your cup, your dues you don't just won't add up. But sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Show 'em just what you're made of.
There she is. So I had a little piece of white stuff. It's not tin. I don't know what it's called. One of those things that you just have laying around your homestead sometimes. And so I got to thinking, I was like, I could put chicken wire over the top of this. But I was like, that one little piece will solve my problem, because what we was having was a dip when it rained in between our two little spots. So by putting that there though, as you can tell, there's no give anywhere. So the water will just run straight off next time instead of puddling up and acting like a little pond there. So that is solved. On the bottom, I folded all the wire in towards the ground. That way it wouldn't hurt their feet or anything like that. But we are going to put some hay in there and give them some bedding so they don't just have to walk on that cold wire. But that's done.
The life I wanna live has just begun. My darling, I have dreamed of you forever. I can't escape the truth of what I know. It's taken many times of me a tumbling to know this garden's where I want.
Rabbits are in. They're happy. They got the water and their food, and they got. The problem is I didn't have any straw, but we did just get a new batch of hay, so they get to eat hay and use it as bedding. I know, an expensive bedding, right? But it's better than walking down that wire. So use what we got. Didn't want to run to the town today. So they got their hay. They're happy. The only thing that's going to be a problem with this kind of setup now, with having all that wire on the bottom, is cleaning their thing. Or cleaning their cage. I'm gonna have to get in there with a pitchfork and pitchfork the stuff out, because it won't just drop on the bottom when we move it like it used to and fertilize our ground and stuff. So that's okay though. At least I know they're safe in there now. They're not gonna get out. They're not gonna dig holes. And they've really got a nice little structure. The females are probably upset now because they got the old chicken coop. But they're good. Now it's time to fix this hoop house.
And though sometimes
All right, now the test to see if we're still working. All right, it appears so. Comes down good. Fixed. Well, that wasn't bad. So, storm could have made it a lot worse. Couple hinges need to be replaced. Rabbit cage was the biggest thing, but honestly, that was more enhancement rather than fixing. But it was something that we needed to do. We needed to make sure those rabbits were separated, because if they weren't, we was going to have rabbits everywhere, and we also don't want that because they're brothers and sisters. So everybody's separated again, and we're good to go now. FYI, we might have to sell some rabbits soon if anybody's interested in them. We got 2 boys in a pen, we got Papa in a pen, and then we got 3 girls in a pen, all separated within the backyard. And you know, we just got to decide on what we want to do. We either have to get rid of the girls or the boys or something, because the boys can't mate with the girls because that's their sister. Papa can still do all the things because apparently that's okay, but brother and sister's not. I don't know. But either way, we got to get a new bloodline going at some point. So we haven't decided on which ones we want to sell, but that will be coming. I am actually standing where another addition to our garden is going to be. If I can ever get time to get over here. All this I'm going to be preparing for this spring so we can be using. Now that requires me cutting down a couple trees, because right here is our morning sun and that blocks all of that. So I'm going to leave the big sycamore, which provides a lot of shade, but it's too pretty. We like our sycamores. But I'm going to be taking down all these little cedar trees, and I'm actually going to have benefit with those double aspect of it. I'm going to be using the trunks for fence posts, because I'm going to have to fence this in too. So that's a great thing with these little cedars. They last forever and they're great fence posts, so you don't have to go spend $10 a post. But that's all coming if we can just kind of get some nice weather without wind, without storms, to be able to actually make some progress and get a little time. But that's going to be coming very, very soon, and I'm super excited. And on the topic of garden expansion, so I had mentioned in a few videos, but I never actually got to show you all. So we have our 4 big raised beds here. What we're going to do is right here on the back side of them, I'm going to build one really long bed that's going to go all the way across from where I stand all the way to the playground set right there. And that's going to be our tomato bed next year. So we should be able to pump in. What we're going to do is we're actually going to build a fence down the middle. And so we'll alternate back and forth the tomato plants. So we should be able to get a good 100 in there with that length. Let's see, it's probably 4, 8, 12, 16, 30 to 40 foot long is what it's going to end up being. And I think I'm going to do either 3 or 4 foot wide. I haven't fully decided yet. Probably going to have to be 4 foot just for the fact to give enough room in the middle for the tomatoes to grow. But that's going to be super exciting. I can't wait for that to go. But for today, the projects that needed maintenance are now taken care of and good to go. Your rabbits are ready, Mama.
I'm glad. That was a lot. I don't know if he told you, but we chased them at 2 a.m.
I did. I told them that we were running around. I just opened the door and there they were, just jumping around.
And y'all said they would.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't even dig a hole. It was actually, they came from the top somehow.
They got some springs on their feet, I guess.
Yeah, and then just hung on and jumped out the top. So when that tarp flew off from the wind, they just climbed out the top because I searched and there was no holes. But it's killing me with this telling it.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. That's right. So we had to get everything ready early and get done early. So now, because it's homeschool time.
Yes.
Yeah. But, thank you all for watching. It could have been so much worse out there. We could have really had quite the disaster with the wind quality that we had. And a lot of people did. So keep them in your prayers. A lot of people, barns flattened around here, houses flipped over. It was insane. For a quick minute. They're actually seeing if we had any tornadoes. None confirmed, but it was like it.
Yeah, thankfully our animals behaved themselves for the most part.
I told them with that gate open, how everybody just stayed in.
They did. They're spoiled. They don't want to go anywhere. Right.
It could have really been chaotic if we had to chase around 100-something chickens, turkeys, guineas.
Yeah.
Guineas would have been gone. I would have never got them. All right, y'all, but I think this is where we wrap you up today.
I think so. We love y'all, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, until the next one, y'all. Bye.